This is either a major spoiler or a terrible head sculpt. Either way, a bad decision from Hot Toys. Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Batman and Batcycle from the upcoming The Flash movie. Now, this is a pre-order product. There's three different SKUs. There is the Batman and Batcycle for $665, the Batcycle on its own for $410, or the Batman on its own for $290. Now, this is due for release sometime between July and it's due for release sometime between July and December of next year, 2024. So, okay. I feel like before I have a discussion or talk about this particular piece, I've got to, I don't want there to be any bias. Actually, it's the opposite of that. I want to tell you why I might be biased against this anyway. Number one, I do not like the DCEU movies. There's a few I thought that were okay, but in general, I think they're bad movies. There's that. Ben Affleck, he's not my Batman, okay? So there's those two things. However, when I saw the trailer for this, and I have to admit, the trailer for this and all the promotional material I've seen so far, and I've seen Flashpoint, the graphic novel and animated movie that this was based on, and it's fantastic. It's really, really good. So I am curious about that. The trailer does have me interested, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm not interested in the Flash. I'm interested in Keaton. Albeit a lot of the trailer material with him saying let's get nuts and stuff like that, very much fan service, like even more so in the way, more superior, or I don't know what I would describe this. There's more blatant fan service. Yeah, there's blatant fan service in this particular trailer. At least with No Way Home, they were trying to keep it a secret and then unload it like that. But this here, there's a lot of fan service and there's some kind of cheesy kind of stuff that, even though Keaton's back in it, and Keaton, 1989 Batman is one of the first movies I fell in love with. 92 obviously loved it as well. Loved Tim Burton. Keaton was fantastic. Loved the suits and the dark kind of gothic look of it, the Batmobile, Jack Nicholson. I could go on and on, but I won't. My point is, I'm not going to see this for Ezra Miller and the Flash. I'm going to see this for Keaton. However, when I saw this in the trailer, the bike looks class, and it still looks class. This is like science fiction motorcycle. Like it looks almost out of place, but yet it works so well. I actually saw then the grey suit with the blue cowl and the blue cape. Very cool, very lifted from the comic books, strong nod to the comic books. Love that. I've seen people say they don't really like the armor outside, and I can get that. I still think it's quite cool. My issue with this is, number one, this is supposed to be Ben Affleck. Okay, now the reason I said in the intro this is a potential spoiler is because I haven't seen the movie yet. Now I have heard from people, I haven't really heard any spoilers from the movie, but I had heard from people, yeah, this is actually meant to be Ben Affleck. If that's the case, this looks nothing like Ben Affleck. Now, it could be a case that those people are saying that because they don't want to spoil the movie for me, which is, not all heroes wear capes. That's commendable, but I don't think that that's what we're trying to, because that's still a possibility. Maybe it's some other random guy, but the way it was explained to me, it was like, no, look, this is actually supposed to be Ben Affleck. And we know from the trailer it's supposed to be Ben Affleck. And I've heard that he doesn't actually don the cape and he's not in it that much. But this here doesn't look anything like Ben Affleck or Keaton. I've been told it looks like his stunt double or whatever. So that kind of rules out, it's not a spoiler. It's supposed to be Ben Affleck. So the thing is, why does it not look like Ben Affleck? Like, which reason? Is it poor sculpting? It can't be. Hot Toys are fantastic sculptors, fantastic paint apps. They can make these figures look like the actors and actresses they're supposed to be like. So maybe it's a licensing thing. Maybe they'll update this. I don't know. Sorry, rant over. I had to be very transparent and kind of tell you that, like, I'm probably a bit biased because I'm not a fan of DCEU. However, this did have my attention. And if this was like a nailed Ben Affleck head sculpt and it's supposed to be Ben Affleck and I go to the movie and I love it, then this may have come home. Blue and grey suit, I like the beefy look of it, and the bike looks cool. But look, let's take a look at some of these images. First of all, I think the bike looks fantastic. It is just cool. It's very futuristic, very science fiction. It's kind of like a shortened version of the Batbike with the big wheels in front. I know the Batbike had basically one wheel in the front, one wheel at the back. So obviously 2 of the tumbler wheels. This here, it's very science fiction. It's very futuristic. It's an armor. It's a weapon. It looks very, very cool. And now him on this though, there seems to be a drastic standard difference here. The bike looks really cool, but then it's just those mouth plates. It really does nothing for me. And it's very unfortunate. This looks like a wired cape though. It doesn't look as blue as it does in the trailers, but again, that could be lighting or something like that. The suit, like it doesn't blow me away. I can understand why people mightn't like the armor bits outside this. I have the, I actually do have the battle damaged armored Batman from Batman vs Superman. Now I know I said at the start of the video that it's like I don't particularly like those movies. I don't, but I really like the Dark Knight Returns, and I really liked the the graphic novel and the animated movie that Batman vs Superman was kind of like loosely based on. And I really like Henry Cavill's Superman, Man of Steel, and that's a good DCU movie. Like that and the Suicide Squad sequel, fantastic. But I wanted that Justice League Superman, even though I know, did not like the Justice League, did not like the Snyder Cut, but that suit is so vibrant, and I think it's actually surpasses. I wanted a Henry Cavill Superman from like representing Man of Steel, and I just thought the versions from Man of Steel and BVS were just a bit too dark, and I love the vibrant blue, even though I didn't like the movie. That is like, those little exceptions in my collection, they're so rare. Like for me, you've heard me say it before, something has to be pretty much a triple threat. I have to like the character, or actually I'll go for it further. I have to love the character, love the source material, and love that particular version. Did I love the character Batman? Yeah. Did I love the source material Batman vs Superman that armored Batman's from? No, I didn't. And did I love that version? I did love that version, the actually heavily armored version. So that wouldn't be a pure triple threat. It's more like a double trouble, would say. So those kind of like exceptions to the rule in my collection, they're very, very rare. They're like down to, I think they're the only 2 actually. So coming back to this again, this looks like kind of a stripped down version of the battle damage, or the armored Batman from Batman vs Superman. Okay, I can see like the belt is quite similar. Obviously you have to get the grey undersuit, and that figure, it's basically a statue like, but it has not great articulation, but it's like chunky metal parts on it. And this obviously is nowhere near as chunky, but it still kind of reminds me, you have the undersuit, and then you have the cape, and then you have these armor parts outside. I know some people are kind of sick of that. They just want the basic, what's underneath the armor basic. And I can understand that because it's more comic book accurate, we'll say. So back to this anyway. Bike looks great. It's hard to tell what the figure looks like there because the articulation looks good anyway. Articulation looks good, and it looks like it's sitting on it properly. It's just it's very strange. I've heard people speculate that these mouth plates are even photoshopped on, and I can kind of see that. It looks very, I think it looks very silly for starters, but it looks very awkward looking as well. It's like if this had an accurate, like if this is meant to be Ben Affleck, and this had, like, it can't be, because like Ben Affleck has a kind of it's a very noticeable dimple on his chin, and he's got that mole as well, and this figure doesn't have that. So obviously this is not based on Ben Affleck's likeness, which is very, very strange. I actually, funny, in certain shots, I'll show you for certain shots, it kind of reminds me there. Okay, if you've seen The Batman, as in with Robert Pattinson and Colin Farrell, tell me that doesn't look like Colin Farrell's Penguin. I'm telling you, that looks like Colin Farrell's Penguin in this particular cowl. Yeah, so like I like the bike, I think, a bit more than the actual figure. And also in the trailer, the cowl and the cape looked a lot more blue, where this looks like there's a hint of blue, but it's kind of more of a greyish blue. It's a darker greyish blue. Yeah, the bikes start to show you got some light up parts and some moving parts. Seems to have a little stand there as well. I think the Batman bike from the Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson one, comes with that little stand as well, or something similar. It's quite expensive, What does it come with? So if you get the Batman and Batcycle, $665. You have separate rolling eyeballs function, 3 different mount plates which look nothing like Batman, or sorry, let me start again. It looks nothing like Ben Affleck. I know you probably heard this already on multiple different streams and videos, but like I hadn't done a video because I hadn't had time. Vehicle ramming accessory coming soon. Interesting. I wonder why they didn't include that. I wonder is there some sort of a spoiler there or something like that. You got a Batarang, a bunch of swap out hands. You got a light up base. This kind of round light up base is kind of similar to the aged up Michael Keaton from this. Again, that figure there, I don't even know if I'm getting that. I mean, I've got the 1989 2.0 with the diorama of Gargoyle base and Vicky Vale shoe and all that kind of stuff on order. Like that and the Batmobile, that could... Okay, it might work backwards and get the Dceu Joker, but that would be my 89 representation locked in. I don't need to go back and get a return suit. I think I'd be happy with that. That's why I'm really not interested in that Hall of Armour, whereas a lot of people are, and I completely understand that. I just don't need every single piece from this. So yeah, this is... Sorry, it's probably coming across as a negative video, because it is a negative video. It's just very, very strange on Hot Toys' part what they've done with those mount plates. Again, the summary of this video: the bike looks great. This suit, it's not like mind-blowing, but for the cowl, the blue cowl and the blue cape, that needs to be a little more blue. But if it was a little bit more blue and it was actually the Ben Affleck likeness, because apparently that's who it's supposed to be, I would be a little bit more inclined and a little bit more drawn in. And I'm not even a big Batfleck fan. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be for me unless the movie is absolutely amazing and maybe they release some updates. Maybe they're working on a license behind the scenes and I just need to cross the T's, dot the I's, and then they're going to re-release, or you know, the kind of updated sculpts that they put out, the updated photos they did recently with the Tom Holland Spider-Man and the Black Panther and the Mighty Thor. They just updated them. They were always good head sculpts to begin with. The Tom Holland one was anyway. But yeah, look, that's it for the video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. By the way, 99.99 comments of I get are very, 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 very respectful. They're either like, you know, I agree with you, I disagree with you, and I love when people disagree with me. Like, you know, a lot of people actually go through the effort of saying, hey, look, I appreciate your content, but I really, you know, disagree with you. Maybe you see Ben Affleck here, maybe you see Keaton here, maybe I'm completely wrong on this, and that's fine. But yeah, kind of offensive comments and stuff like that, they go straight into the filter and you get blocked. So yeah, look, you've been warned. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.